I got violated by my toilet. There's no other way of putting it. Now, before we get into the details of how I was violated by my toilet, let me just put a warning out there. If you have a weak stomach, this may not be the video for you. If, on the other hand, you enjoy the, graphic storytelling every once in a while, then stick around, this should be fun. Don't worry, I won't go into too much detail. I'll try to keep it PG-13, let's say. But I'm definitely going to explain the entire story. So let's begin with the backstory. I always found it kind of weird, and when you think about it, a little gross that in North America, well, in America in general, I would say, we go to the bathroom, we poop, we wipe, and we expect it to be clean. Okay, it's mostly clean, but let's be honest. There's still stuff left over, even if we don't see it. So I always found that a little kind of gross. But, this is how I was raised. This is the country, the society that I live in. It's just normal. But I always kind of wanted a bidet because I'm like, it seems cleaner. It seems like a better solution, a better option. And I know there's bidet attachments available that you can just kind of attach to your toilet. So I always wanted to get one. I just never really bothered to get around to it until now. So ordered it on Amazon a couple days ago. It's actually been on my wish list for a while and it just happened to go on sale. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's order. Cool, it's time. So anyway, got it yesterday, installed it this morning. Turns out that installing it was more difficult than expected. In the instruction manual, it says, because it does come with the Teflon tape for, that you wrap around pipes when you screw them together so it doesn't leak. It says, when you do it the first time, don't use it. Only use it if there's a leak. So I'm like, cool, I'm not going to use it. So, follow the instructions, unscrew the thing, screw the pieces in, connect everything, tighten it as much as I can. And unfortunately, given the fact that I've lost a lot of muscle mass, I'm not as strong as I used to be. So tightening things, especially those types of things, is very difficult because it's all like finger strength. And I just don't have that much strength anymore. So it was difficult. It did end up leaking like a lot the first time. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's unscrew it. Let's use the Teflon tape. So I put it on, screw it in. It still leaks. So I try to tighten it even more. Still leaks. Eventually managed to tighten it to the point where it stops leaking. Everything is good. Mop up the floor. Once everything's clean, everything's dry, everything's good, I'm like, cool, okay, we're done, moving on. I don't need to use the toilet, so I can't test it now, we'll test it later. So, end up going to my immunotherapy treatment today, just got back from that recently. And when I came back, I'm like, oh, I need to eat. But before I eat, I feel like I need to make a little, space. So go to the bathroom, do whatever I've got to do. And when I'm done, comes the moment of truth. All right, time to try it. Now there's two settings. One for men or women and one specifically for women. So being a man, obviously I use the one for men and women. And I didn't really know what to expect. It's the first time, so I'm like, let's test this baby out. So turn it on to the max. And yeah, that's basically where I got violated by my toilet. There was way more pressure than I was expecting. I was expecting enough pressure to clean, but have you ever seen one of those pressure washers where it's like you can cut through grass and remove basically a stone that's old and moldy and everything and you just pass once and it's suddenly all clean and new? That's kind of what it felt like. Obviously not that extreme, otherwise I would be bleeding, but definitely more pressure than I was expecting. And thank God you can adjust the pressure, so I was able to adjust it and everything. But I just wasn't expecting that, how should I put this, that depth of cleaning. I was expecting an external cleaning, not an internal cleaning. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm probably cleaner than I've ever been, but yeah, not something I'm going to try again. Next time, I'm going to slowly work the pressure up until it's a level that feels right, instead of just going to the max. But it was the first time I had to test it out. I am happy in a way because there is that level of pressure, so I don't really know in what situation you would need that level of pressure, but it's better too much pressure than not enough, especially when you can adjust. So I definitely don't regret it. It was definitely a good investment, a lot of bang for my buck, if you will. Yeah, it's kind of gross when you think about it. But anyway, yeah, a little too much bang for my buck. But anyway, I'm glad I bought it. Glad it wasn't too difficult to install, and it seems to work well. So, and I did do some research before because I'm like, I've never used a bidet. I don't really know how it works. So it's like, do you just use that? Do you wipe first and then use that? Do you use that and then wipe to remove the water? Like, I had no idea what to expect. So I kind of did a little research before, and there seems to be a few different school of thoughts on that. Some people wipe and then clean, and then, wipe either with, you know, normal toilet paper or with a towel. And some people just don't wipe, just use that and then wipe after. I'm assuming some people just use that and don't even wipe and just let, like, I don't know, I guess the boxers absorb the water. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so I did some research beforehand. Given the level of pressure there is, I don't really think wiping beforehand is necessary. If you want to avoid splashing and stuff like that, okay. I could see that, but yeah, definitely not necessary. After though, yes, because it does get you pretty wet because of that pressure, the pressure and the splashing and everything. But yeah, I'm definitely glad I bought it. I'm glad I tested it out. I just will not put it to the max again. So yeah, that was the story of how I was violated by my toilet. It's all my own fault. I mean, I bought it, I installed it, I paid for it, I'm the one who put it to max, but still, it feels like I got violated. So yeah, that was my story for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.